Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's class. Today we're going to be going over TeWaza. So first, TeWaza means hand techniques, and they've actually only got really one core principle to them, and that's that your hands are going to be the center of the circle for each of your throws. And as we go through them, you'll see each of the circles at work.
All right, Saitoshi. It's okay. Kataguruma. Yamarashi. I like this one. Cool. Senai. Nippon Senai.
I'm doing so bad tonight.
That's okay. Alright, we'll kick this out of the way. Going that way. Drop some. Ukyotoshi. And Sumiyatoshi. Awesome.
And that's all of them. There are also the leg picks, but we covered those in a separate video last week, I believe. So we're not going to cover them here.
So what we'll do now, cut real quick, and then we'll come back and go through the details of each. All right, so there's some examples of TeWaza and the basic principle, which is it's your hands making circles. So now we're going to go through some of the details, and one of the cool things about judo is the devil's in the details. So if I throw them like this with ogoshi, it's going to be terrible. If I move my foot just that far, it's going to be awesome. So these are the cool details that take your throws from okay to wow. All right, we didn't bow. Welcome back. So first we're going to look at taitoshi, body drop. So step back. As he steps forward, I don't want to pull yet, because it'll get a great big step that I don't want. So what I'm going to do is wait till that first foot plants, and then I'm going to lift them up. And as I lift them up, this knee's going to come down super low. I want two things. First is, for his safety, I want to make sure this knee is below his, because if it's above it, I run the risk of crunching his knee. The other is, for my safety, my foot doesn't go sideways, my knee points down. This way, if he ends up falling on that knee, it hits the ground and it's kind of ouchy, but it's not a big deal. If my leg is this way and he falls on that, you get a god-awful crunching sound, and I'm off this knee for weeks or months. So, wait till his weight is planted, and the kazushi is that way. See people make a mistake all the time with different throws of pulling down. Don't pull down, up and open them up. And you'll see the way I do taitoshi, I actually put my hand in his elbow and it opens him up even more. And then from there, here, I'm pushing up and I just push him out and straighten that leg. And that pops his foot backwards, his body forwards, and he can't help but come around.
And an important part of the kazushi and why sensei can do it without holding on to both or onto my lapel is this hand does all the work. Almost all the work happens at his sleeve. If he tries to make this take control, the throw's not going to turn out great. He just pulls me on top of him.
All right, so back, forward. How's that? And if I hang on to his gi, similar. In both cases, Kazushi is up and out that way. Leg goes down, straightens out, and he's not going over my hip. He's going over my leg. Seoinage. You want to do Seoinage? You want me to?
Go for it.
Okay. Seoinage, couple of the finer points in, and I gotta get that Kazushi. See people all the time, and it's kind of entertaining once you think about it. And one of the things that makes it entertaining is that I did it myself for so long. They pull him forward, and then they step too deep, and they put him back on his heels again, and then they try to throw him forward. Sirocco Zenyo, maximum efficiency, minimum force. And totally misses that. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get my grip, and I'm gonna use the strength of this leg to lift up. Okay? Now I'm gonna come around, and I'm gonna lower my center of gravity, and then stand up, and that's all I gotta do. As I come around, I corkscrew down, my feet between his, and I just stand up. His feet lose that purchase with the ground, over he goes. Seo Toshi, there's a whole bunch of detail to that. We could do like a whole video on that, so we're gonna skip that.
If you don't know how to do Seo Toshi,
Drop
don't do
Seo
Seo Toshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know drop Seo, don't do drop Seo.
And if you're working with anybody whose break falls are any less than perfect, don't do drop Seoinage. It's been banned with the younger ages and the lower ranks, because one of the things that happens is people come in and they fall down, and if he rears back the way everybody who isn't a judoka has the instincts to do, what's going to happen is I'm going to pull his face down and hit him face first into the ground, and he's going to get a concussion, and yeah, it's a bad scene. So if you're doing drop Seoinage, always make sure that whoever you're doing it with has really good break falls. Kataguruma, do you want to take them through Kataguruma and through how to make Kataguruma work if you're a lot smaller than me? You're not.
So, first things first, I like to get under his elbow, just lets me lift higher. I do it for all of these throws. Now, my big toe goes to his big toe, he's up, and I'm gonna take this hand between his legs, I'm gonna put my ear to his hip. And I'm gonna keep looking up. If I look down, I lost control. If I keep looking down, I can't lift him in the first place, let alone hold on to him.
Show them the lift, looking down. Yeah. And show them the lift if your head's too high.
That's gonna look pretty much the same.
Oh, you did it! Good job.
I'm seeing
I'm
stars.
impressed. Yeah.
So,
You okay?
yeah.
Okay.
So, major points.
Way more work than it needs to be.
And doing that, if I throw him back that way, I can probably make it happen. I could lift him, I couldn't throw him that way. That wasn't happening.
And that was with me cooperating fully. If I'd gotten it all defensive and leaned my weight back, no way.
Even just putting his hips out like that.
Even though Ethan's a whole bunch stronger than me, yeah, all I had to do was move my weight back like that far, and all the strength in the world wouldn't have pulled that off.
No.
And interestingly, when you're doing testing or prep for the Nage no Kata, those are the biggest mistakes I see people make. Trying to pick uke up looking down, or having their head way up in uke's armpit and trying to lift them up.
It's going too fast. In a tournament, the reason you see tournament Kataguruma so fast, I'm dropping.
Yeah.
You don't do tournament Kataguruma standing like this. So I'm dropping so I can go fast, because me dropping to my knees puts my head right here.
And the lower uke tori's center of gravity compared to uke, the easier this throw becomes. So it's a good hint if you're shooting for your
Green belt.
green belt and you just have a terrible time doing Kataguruma, do drop Kataguruma. Show them a drop.
So for drop.
So imagine I'm a whole bunch bigger than Ethan.
So for drop, this still pulls up. I still put this here. Now I'm just going to drop to my knees.
roll over top of them.
And I
So
still do the same arms. I pull, this comes under, I twist, I just drop to my knees, that puts my head in place, I don't have to squat him.
Down to your knees. So his center of gravity is like way down here, and mine is way up here. So I end up basically just doing Zempo Kaiten over top of his shoulders. He guides me into a Zempo Kaiten over top of himself. So if you're shooting for your green belt and you have to do Kataguruma, and you're having trouble picking people up, for the kata, you have to get uke all the way up and demonstrate control. That's your goal for the kata. But for the testing part, as long as you can execute a good Kataguruma, I'm comfortable with that.
And kata's valuable, but it does a lot of things weird. You're gonna find a lot of the time as you learn judo that this is how you do it if you want to do it. This is how you do it if you want the kata. So,
all right. Anything else to hit about Kataguruma?
nope.
Stretch me out real far and.
Uke, to be nice.
Oh yeah, if you're uke.
You go stiff as a board.
Yeah.
And just let Tori move you. Don't try to help Tori move you.
Yes. Stand still and go where you're guided. Show them, pick me up. So you see how my feet are straight out and my arm is straight out? I'm making his life way easier by doing this.
I'm making it hard by standing here.
Yeah, if I flump as he's trying to pick me up, I become way harder for him to throw gracefully. Go ahead and throw.
And see, I even picked him up wrong. I was looking down.
Oh, no.
And I still got him up.
And Yama Arashi.
All right. So, Yama Arashi,
Descriptive name.
the Mountain Storm.
Doesn't tell you anything about the throw.
There's like 3 whole throws in judo like that. I'm going to take a cross grip like this. I really like this grip. It's tight. Come under the elbow. That's just a good one to have. My thumb is always under the elbow. Lets me lift a little higher. Now, I'm going to step across. I'm going to bring this under like a Marote Seanagi. And then I'm going to Hare Goshi. Or do a Hare Goshi-esque movement. So I got him. Make sure I do this properly. There we go. My one in the introduction felt weak, so.
And that, I tell you, is uke. That's a powerful throw.
Yeah, those ones are really nice. You can build a whole style around it. I've seen it done.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
that's Yama Arashi. Marote Seanagi.
Detail of Marote Seanagi,
Yeah. So for the most part, Marote Seanagi is the same as Ippon Seanagi, except you'll often find first-time learners, they end up with their wrist back like this.
Or their shoulder
Torque back like this. I'm doing everything wrong here.
If you look at them sideways, do it again. Yeah, look at that.
So to fix all those problems and more, if the only reason you're learning Marote Seanagi is for your tests, don't grab by the collarbone like you usually would. I grab lower, right about where the Medicine at Judo Club logo is on Sensei's gi. This is going to make it a lot looser, and because of how Marote Seanagi works, his gi still tightens up enough on him to do the throw without tightening up so much that I end up back here with my wrist backwards.
And he's pulling me forward. So you saw when he did that, do it again. Look at my toes. I'm ready to go over.
And another important detail is twisting the gi is what pulls your wrist back. So you see there, when I twist the gi without a gi, I pull it in. That causes the tension to straighten out my wrist. Another way to do that is start with your wrist bent, forward. Bend like this, not like this. Not like this, like this. Start with it here.
Good, bad.
As I twist, the tension pulls my wrist back from here. Doesn't let it go that far, puts it right here.
Which is exactly where you want it.
And that lets me do the technique. That took me literal years to figure out. And at one point I was grabbing all the way down here. because I just needed to loosen the gi that much.
Yeah.
But that's the problem most people run into when they first start, and that's how you avoid that problem.
Awesome. So that's an overview of TeWaza. Thank you. That's an overview of TeWaza. Check the screen and make sure that he's just grabbing glasses. I don't think at this point he can see the screen. So that's an overview of TeWaza. So take some notes, write some stuff down, catch some important points, and then make it a full class. Do some cardio, get your heart pumping, and then push, pull, squat, core. So push-ups are awesome. You want to make them more difficult, do them one-handed. Lift one foot up, cross your feet over each other. Put your feet up on a chair, do it up on your fists. Stagger your hands.
It's about a million ways.
Put one on a basketball and then switch the other one on a basketball. Anything to switch it up, make it more challenging, make it less stable. You can make push-ups as difficult as you need them to be. Pull, you can do backups. You can do Aussie push-ups. We got a bar here that I made from stuff I bought at Rona. It's just pipe, just steel pipe, 2 T's with a crossbar. Further you put your feet out, the more difficult it is. Bring your feet in to make it easier. Put your feet up on a chair to make it even more difficult.
Keep your feet off the ground.
Anything to get your feet, keep your feet off the ground. If you can do that, then you don't need my advice. But a very simple way of getting some pull. Your body is always balanced, so if you're working the front of your body, you should work the back of your body too.
And squat. If you can, do this and Supermans.
And some backups, yeah. Squat, feet shoulder width apart, all the way down, all the way up. Looking forward, none of this. Looking forward, all the way down, all the way up. And core, sit-ups, the Supermans, and that'll give you a full workout. From there, how much mat do I have still on the screen?
Back up a little bit.
If you can do Zempo Kaiten, you don't need a lot of space. So I was able to do that in about 1 mat. So these are, I think they're 6-foot mats. So it doesn't take an awful lot of space. Shrimping in place, that's another drill you can do. Whatever you want to do to keep your reflexes fresh in your body, remembering how to move correctly. And then go through these throws. You can do them shadow fits, so Taitoshi, toe to toe, up, foot all the way down, Kazushi up. You can do them with Uchikomi bands. You can do them with a partner without throwing them. So toe to toe, up, and then stop. So you don't need a judoka partner to practice these. And you can go through each one of them. Even just picturing it in your mind in as much detail as possible will help you stay fresh. And go through each of the throws you need until you kind of got the sense of it. And you're ready to bring it back to the dojo when we get to bring it all back.
And in your workouts, you can do, for your legs, Taitoshi squats, like this.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Just make sure you switch legs. Or
Balanced.
Get them up like this. And do your squats here.
When I was a teenager, just starting judo, I can't tell you how much time we spent with each other, with classmates on our shoulders, doing squats. All right, as always, if you have any questions, please. Facebook comments, Facebook Messenger, email info@medhatjudo.com, or phone or text 403-580-6666. Thanks again, and everybody have a great night. Talk to you soon.